What's going on, y'all? This is in response to Unreal World. He just made a video discussing people flagging his channel, his content, and you know, so I'm just, hey, you already know me. I'm gonna keep it a buck from the jump, right? I am proudly a part of the LGBTQ+ community. I'm proudly queer, proudly born intersex, identify as an intersex trans man, and gay, queer, pansexual, what have you. So first off, you know, I get that prior to 1973, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have information in the description box below, but if I'm not mistaken, prior to 1973, homosexuality was listed as a mental disorder, mental health disorder. After 1973, the American Psychological Association removed it from the DSM, okay? Diagnosed mental health disorders, what have you. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna, you know, do my own fact checking as well. So check the description box as well. So me personally, I don't condone the homophobia, the transphobia, you know, and yes, people have a right to their opinion, you know, or like the cliche saying goes, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So yes, people have a right to their opinion. However, that doesn't mean people can't hold you accountable. That doesn't mean people can't disagree with you. That doesn't mean people can't, you know, address you. I think a lot of people have a problem with thinking that, okay, I'm entitled to my opinion, therefore nobody can check me. And yes, the hell they can. People don't have to agree with you. You know what I'm saying? People don't have to support you. So that's one thing I want to get out there. As far as his criticism against other people on YouTube who are a part of the van life community, the nomad community, you know, living on the road, and they're using their cars and vans and trucks as living quarters. Again, he has a right to his opinion. He can say essentially what he wants to say. First Amendment, freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit up here and deny him of that right. And at the same time, just because in theory, in reality, people can say what they want to say, doesn't mean you can't be checked. Doesn't mean other people can't come and correct you. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us have a problem with that. We want to say what we want to say and then get upset when people hold us accountable or address us. And as far as them flagging his channel, I've dealt with that in the past. Like literally my original YouTube channel that I created in 2008, literally I had got 3 flags. And when you get 3 flags on YouTube, they will delete, terminate your entire channel, your entire Gmail account. You will not have a YouTube. You will not be allowed to ever upload or utilize YouTube off of that Gmail account once they flag your channel 3 times. I dealt with that. I lost my original channel in 2013 that I had since 2008. So when they're talking about freedom of speech, I get where you're coming from in that aspect, where people don't like what you're saying, don't agree with what you're saying, and then now they can go and flag your channel and you can lose all of your content and your whole channel will be terminated. So that's that. And at the same time, there's a difference between freedom of speech and hate speech and harassment. And I think a lot of people need to kind of understand that, because it's a thin line. That's just the best way for me to explain it. It is a very much thin line. So yes, freedom of speech, and at the same time, hate speech and harassment is not freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? So if you're sitting up here targeting an entire demographic of people and saying all of this condescending, disrespectful, just straight up discriminatory, bigoted, you know, things, you can't be too surprised that you end up getting flagged for that. I'm just gonna be real. And it's the same thing like when you're talking about mental health issues. Here's the thing though, it's a double whammy, right? Because if you watch Unreal World, he tells you that he also is autistic. So there's also that double whammy where when you're a part of that demographic, you can't, it's weird, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, how are you gonna tell somebody that's autistic that they can't talk about autistic people when they're a part of that group? It kind of goes back to telling black people to stop saying the N-word, you know what I'm saying? But they're a part of that group. Kind of like how you have women who will call themselves the B-word, but they're a part of that group. So I get where, you know, the back and forth goes. However, at the same time, using the R-word, to me, it is disrespectful. It is a put down. It's remedial frame of thought, because like we've moved on from that. We don't call people that anymore. We understand how that can be rude and discriminatory. A lot of times a person has cognitive delays or severely cognitive behavioral delays. So we don't use the R word anymore. But again, at the same time, how it's hard, but I'm gonna say it. How can we police what other people say? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wrong. I don't agree with it. And at the same time, you don't have control over what other people say and do. And that's the same thing back to Unreal. You can't sit up and also want to have your say-so and what have you, and you want to be free to do you, but then you're sitting up here passing judgment on other people, a part of other demographics, whether that's the gay community, the trans community, LGBTQ+, other van lifers, people who have mental illnesses or cognitive illnesses, delays. People are free to be them, just like you're free to be you. So none of us really have the right, in my opinion, to sit up and tell somebody what they can and cannot say and can and cannot do. But that's just it. We all need to stop being hypocritical about it, because we'll sit up and say, oh, I can say and do this, but how dare you have freedoms to do you? And that's that double standard shit. Like, that's where I am. Now, when he was talking about socialism, y'all already know where I'm coming from. And that's going to be a part 2 to this, because this is already over 8 minutes. But at the same time, I've been subscribed to Unreal World since 2024. I subscribed to him in January. So I've been following him for about 2 months. Okay, so 2 months to 2.5 months. So part 2 will be up soon, because I'm gonna talk about the next part about Unreal World's, you know, perspective and opinion on capitalism, socialism, and all of that. So stay tuned.